Hey everybody, welcome to this week's episode of Between the Rows by the Paper Dungeon. This is episode 3, and to not waste everyone's time, let's just get right into it.
Welcome, restless trespasser, to a town of no rapport. A simple, lonely resting place far from distant shore. It's where people live their lives asleep, awake within the dreaming. But in silent, shattered memory, a shadowed force is scheming. For the dead await beneath the golden stalk and blackened crow. Yet mortal creatures never see what lies between the rows.
I love how awkward it is.
This is great. This is what I'm here for. Last week, stuff went down. Specifically, they fought a really scary thing. Everyone was in the factory. Lots of hands, not enough heads. Sawyer ended up in the void for a little bit. It was real bad.
Everything's fine.
After eventually getting themselves out of that situation that they had previously gotten themselves into, they decided, hey, Grant's, no wait, not Grant's, Bailey's grandparents. Dang it, DJ.
You're doing great.
I'm doing stellar. Bailey's grandparents have always told them stories of spooky situations and kind of just weird folk tales and stuff. And they all decided that they might know a little bit more about this than they do. So, excluding good old Crowbar Jones and Bev Winchester, who followed Crowbar as he left to go seek out an old bully, they are now residing at the Patterson residence. It was revealed that, yes, indeed, his grandparents do know more, and they are now currently in the shed. But I'm going to start with Crowbar and Bev and see where they end up. So, Crowbar, or Eugene, as your parents call you. You are currently driving your hot rod down the street, going to find your old friend.
It's a classic built Chevy Camaro.
Yeah, 100%. You do notice, without a doubt in your mind, that Bev is following you on her bicycle, surprisingly keeping up.
Okay, I'll slow down and pull over and kind of wait for her to catch up.
I'll put my bike in the bed of the truck and just get inside.
Yes, well, okay. We'll correction. We'll put it in the trunk of the car.
Oh, right.
I'm driving a Camaro.
Right. Yes.
Close enough.
As she opens the door and gets in. Hi there.
Hi. Where are you going?
I was trying to pay an old friend a visit.
That's what I thought. Did you really think I would let you do that alone? Just drive.
All right, and I'll drive.
All right. Now, come to think of it, you don't know where this guy lives.
Okay.
Specifically,
That's fine.
believe you're probably looking for Randall.
Okay.
Not a menacing name, but at one point in time, he was a pretty big force on the football team. Grant and Bailey would certainly know of his location, or Grant and Jared. Bailey might. Bailey knows a lot of people. Well, a lot of people know Bailey. But you could try to ask around.
No, I don't want to do that.
Well, does he remember where they used to hang around?
That is an excellent question. Most of the time that they were interacting with you was at the old factory.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Or they would catch you after school. They did used to hang out in the parking lot of the bar because they weren't actually allowed in because they're high schoolers.
Mm-hmm.
But they really like to pretend that they could, so they would hang out just in the parking lot next to the bowling alley.
Well, I guess I'll start there because that's the only place I could go.
Yep. Right now it's summertime. You show up at the bowling alley. There's a few cars parked there. It's not super busy, but at the moment you don't see the car of Randall or any of his friends.
That is unfortunate. All right. I'll just...
Did you even have a plan?
Bev, you know
What,
me.
you were just gonna go? You were just gonna talk to him, or what?
Well, I was gonna try and have a lovely conversation with him.
Right, a conversation by yourself. Mm-hmm.
Yes. I was gonna have a conversation the only way I know how to. And if that didn't work out, then I would remind him as to why he doesn't mess with me. And why he doesn't mess with innocent children who can't defend themselves.
Sure. Now, supposing you can't find him, what then?
I don't know. Go back to the others, I guess, as I start driving off.
Excellent. You do know
Actually, I will, if I can, on the way, stop by my shop.
Oh, yeah.
And since I'm getting into more issues, I will go into my shop and pick up any tools that I might be missing. Known or not known.
Yeah, you just have a toolbox.
Yep.
That you keep. It's very well organized, very well maintained.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can easily just throw that in the back of your car. You never know. You also throw a couple of miscellaneous that you don't normally.
Mm-hmm.
But like, hey, who knows what you're gonna encounter?
A slightly bigger crowbar.
Yeah.
Forget. Did we say that our shops are next to each other? My dad's?
Yours is actually a little bit out of town.
All right.
His is associated more centrally. It's actually just on the main road.
Mm-hmm.
It does lead towards your house, like you pass it on the way home, but it's
fine.
a fair little bit.
Yeah, I have my pistol and my shotgun. I'm probably fine.
Yeah, who knows what else you need?
Right.
Just bringing out sniper rifles. I don't know. And then do you head towards Patterson's?
Yeah, after I go back to my shop and collect the rest of my tools, I'll go back to Bailey's. I assume I know where Bailey's is, right?
Oh, yes. It is very easy to find because there is a single dirt road that leads out of town, and then it eventually hits just a T section, and the right side of the road leads towards the Johnson acreage. The left side of the road leads to the Patterson acreage. Yes,
I would say that the odds of me knowing Bailey's grandparents are fairly high.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. Your
Probably.
family has known his family longer than
The city is
anyone
existing.
else that you've probably known each other since like preschool.
Right.
Now, Bev, if you don't mind my asking, why do you not have a car?
Why do I need a car?
Well, it's a very helpful thing to have when you're trying to navigate and travel.
My legs work just fine.
I mean, yeah, but... your
Where do I
legs-
gotta go? I gotta go to the shop, I gotta go to my house, or I gotta go to the...
Woof, woof.
Or I gotta go to the gun show. I can get there just fine.
But, Bev, don't you want to get out of here someday? I mean,
The dogs.
Yeah,
this time of day.
Yep.
Crazy.
As we pass by the kennel.
Yeah, it's pretty laid out. There's dogs running. What
Honestly, that's pretty accurate.
It actually is. Very
I don't mind. I don't mind it.
Right. Get out. Wouldn't leave?
I mean, yeah, there's not much going on for this town.
Where would I go?
Anywhere, I guess. I mean, I don't know. Don't you like? I mean, maybe you could go join the military or something, or you know, maybe I don't know, go to California or something. I hear that's a big place nowadays.
I don't know.
Nowadays
Maybe.
in 2008.
I don't know what my parents are on downstairs. Can you hear them laughing?
Yes.
I think it's
you recommend
excellent.
that the woman who is like in love with guns goes to California.
Right.
Oh
let me
yeah, I
just
get
do
yeah.
that.
That's,
Oh,
yeah,
no.
here, I bet, yeah.
Um,
Hey, Crowbar's not into politics, all right?
Right. It's fine. It's fine.
Right.
Now, I will point out a couple of interesting things about the way to Bailey's house. As I said, single dirt road off the highway leads down. Now, the name of this road would be a little strange to most people. It is named Colt Road, C-U-L-T. Rumor has it that there was at some point in time a cult that did multiple different like get-togethers on this road. There is a hut that is on the Johnson property that it's just there. It's just a shack, pretty much.
We don't go there very often.
Yeah, it's not a big deal. It's in the woods and not on farm ground, so it's just there. It's not something to bother with. But yeah, it leads to the T section. Take a left, and you easily make it to Bailey's acreage. A nice little house on a hill, windmill blowing. The lights are on both in the barn and the main house.
Okay. The barn and the main house?
Yes.
Bev, I'm gonna be honest. I've been to Bailey's like 3 times.
Well, he said he was going to talk to his grandparents, right?
Yeah.
DM, they went to the barn, right? They did that, right?
Yes, they are
Yeah,
currently
yeah.
in the barn.
But would we
Yeah.
know that?
No.
Well, would I know that his grandparents, like his granddad, works in there?
I mean, it's not uncommon for the lights to be on. It's a farm. It could be his dad, could be anything.
I'll park
But you
the
know
car.
that most likely, just out of habit, family-wise, his grandmother will probably be in the house either cleaning or making dinner around this time of day. His grandfather's probably watching some random sport game, recorded or otherwise. His dad's probably in the field, and his mom's probably in the back garden.
I'll park the car and just be like, well, we could just go up and ask where they're at.
I suppose we could just knock on the house. There's no problem with that.
Yeah, easy enough. You head up, knock on the door. You hear some bustling from the inside, and sure enough, Grant's grandmother Marge opens the door. The smell of mashed potatoes, gravy, pork roast.
Now, Miss Johnson,
just vegetables.
Miss Johnson,
Pat-
what are you doing here?
Patterson.
I was gonna try to make a joke out of it, guys, but whatever.
No, it's Patterson. Wrong name. Yeah, she opens the door and she says, "Oh well, hi there.
Hi.
Hi.
Has
Was that
Bailey,
you,
looking for-
Evelyn?
Has
has Bailey,
it has been
has
too
Bailey been
long.
around?
Oh yeah. Oh yes. Your friends are back in. They're back in the barn. You can head on back. Not
Right.
a problem.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you.
Turn
Yes.
around and walk.
Please. Oh, and feel free to stay for dinner.
Right. We probably will.
wouldn't-
Thank you.
Bye now.
Bye now.
Bev, are you all right? What just
I'm
happened?
fine.
What did I
I'm
did
fine.
I miss
Nothing.
something?
No,
You-
it's fine.
Your face is all red and stuff. Are you all right?
It's hot outside.
I agree. It is. It is. Although, didn't you find it very peculiar that we left and it became evening?
No. I said day. Totally wrong.
Totally wrong.
It's around 5 or 6.
Yeah.
Anyway, regardless. To the
Nothing.
barn.
To the barn.
The rest of you are currently standing in good old Richard Patterson's, aka Dick Patterson's workshop in the back of the barn. Covered in dust. Not used recently, but you can tell that in the past it was very well used. And he had just finished saying, welcome to the Homestead Society. And at this point in time, the door opens into the barn. And
Heart attack.
Eugene and Bev, you are currently looking at them all very kind of spooked and surprised.
Look who decided to show up.
Hi guys. What's with the look on your faces? Is it that
Homestead
shocking?
Society.
What?
What?
Homestead Society. It
All
gets you
right.
every time.
What about the Homestead Society? What's
Well, you've never
what's the
expected.
Homestead Society?
Welcome.
That's a great question.
Right? It's welcome. Welcome
Bailey.
to the.
Oh,
I take
yes,
it
yes,
these
Paul.
are these are the other two.
What?
Yeah.
Did
the-
you guys
these are the
are you
other
guys
two.
signing us up for a cult right now? What is happening?
Oh my God! Is this a cult?
Guys, I know that the rumors of this property run far, but really, you don't. That's kind of disrespectful. I mean, my
It makes
grandfather
so much
decided.
sense though. You're on Cult Road. The witches from the hut back there. Oh my God! It makes so much sense. This is a cult. We're part of a
Forgive
cult.
them.
I mean, they're
And then she's gonna
Sawyer.
go over and
She's
she's gonna
not
aggressively tap
wrong.
on Eugene's shoulder. We're in a cult.
Sawyer.
Sawyer, easy there.
Wait, Pa, did you just say they weren't wrong?
well. I mean, they're not wrong.
I don't understand.
Cult is a strong word.
It's more
It's a
like
so-
a
it's a
society or a
society.
club, right?
It is a society.
Right.
I'll fill y'all in.
Yeah. What exactly does the Homestead Society mean?
Hold your horses. I'm getting to it. Bailey,
Yes,
grab me
Pa,
that
yes,
book below the work table.
Yes, sir. Okay, so you know how when, especially, a grandparent asks you to get something and they say a vague place and you can't find it and you panic because you don't want them to get upset at you?
Do I
Can
see
I roll
him?
an investigation check to
Yes.
see if I see the book?
Yes. Or perception, whatever one is better.
Oh, shoot.
Use the word
Can I help him in any way? Do I see him struggling?
You can certainly see him look towards the table, clearly not knowing what book is in question.
You know that face. That face.
I know that face.
I will allow
Can
you
I
to
come
help.
over and help him?
Oh, yeah, that's much, much better. That's a
Yeah, Jared?
21 with Beth, so
Out of curiosity, I'm just going to, just because this looks like a normal barn, I'm gonna cast Eldritch Sight, so I cast
Awesome.
Detect Magic at will.
Yeah. The barn itself, not magical.
Okay.
All around the workshop, scattered throughout the barn, there are items. What you originally thought were just dust-covered, kind of rusted, like tools and equipment, like things that probably haven't been moved for over like 70 to 100 years, like do glow with the magical aura. It is a surprising number.
Okay.
Bailey, you go down there, you're like, book. What?
where's the book? Where's
And
the
then
book?
Bev just kind of leans down and points, and there is a probably about this thick of a book just
The thick
sitting
book.
on like a little wooden platform, like underneath the work table. It is huge, ancient book. It blended in with the ground and the wall behind it, covered in dust. out of all of the things in this barn that haven't been touched in a long time, this is probably one of the most dust covered.
Perfect. Bailey bends down and grabs the book and almost like solemnly a little bit, or like a little sad and a little bit like quieter, just says, "Thanks, Bev." And then he walks back over to his grandfather and says, "I got you the book that you told me to grab for you."
Yep. Richard has moved and sat kind of on a little like crafting bench that he has. And he takes the book from you and says, "All right. Well, suppose I should get started. Man, how was it told to me? Well, so I should start off by, I guess, saying magic is real? Nah, that's bad. It's not magic, per se. It's not magic, but it isn't magic. It's religion? I don't know. Basically, when people believe in something enough, sometimes it's not wrong. If enough people are believing in it, then it can happen. And it's been less and less that way, but that's where all the myths, the legends, the mythology, all of it comes from real things. Now, some of it is a little bit diluted or a little bit over-exaggerated, but at its core, it was real. But when science and technology and people started moving around and learning more, they stopped practicing a lot of their old practices, I suppose. Happened a lot when America started up. Big old melting pot. But people were kind of busy, like revolution and doing all that stuff. But around 1862, President Lincoln, he flips open the book, turns to a page.
You're referencing the Homestead Act, right? That's how our family got out here?
Yeah, that's the one. Good on you for remembering your history.
Well, of
Always
course,
right
it's our
to remember
family.
where you come from.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Homestead Act, 1862. Basically said, move to the Midwest, Nebraska, around these parts, and you can get a whole bunch of land for basically free. It's where the Pattersons started out. I believe the Winchesters came a little while after, but that was an opportunity for a lot of folks. Let them go back to their old ways rather than living in the big city or trying to make a living out there. They could go back to doing what they used to do, the old rituals and traditions that they always had. But along with that, brought a lot of bad. And a lot of people, we're good folks out here. We don't like to cause trouble for too many people. So we decided to make a group. I say we, but this was years before I was born. They called it the Homestead Society because the amount of people coming out here to, well, make a homestead. And that's what we did. And they started making roads and trails. And you ever wonder why there are some roads that just end?
Well, I suppose.
Well, thanks for participating in the conversation.
I just assumed that they ran out of funding, like.
No, not
gave
the
up on it.
new paved ones. I mean the old ones, the ones made of dirt and gravel. The reason is these roads stretch all across the United States, Nebraska, Iowa, any Midwest state you can find them. They actually form a kind of barrier. Nebraska is a pass-through state. All the flow of everything goes through here. People, creatures, magic, or whatever you'd like to call it, belief, religion. They all end up in Nebraska. And what these roads do is they trap them. leave it here kind of like a drain. It caused a lot of problems though, so it also split into kind of a second, I don't like to say dimension because that isn't quite what it is. Some German fella came up with a real good name for it, but it was long and also in German, so we just call it the in-between. That's where I guess you encountered that thing today.
So the Homestead Society, it was put together way long back. Our family's been a part of it for a long time. It's just a group that continues to believe in and practice superstitions and things to help out the crops and stuff. Is that what you're getting on?
Our job is to make sure that our traditions don't interfere with those that don't practice them.
I lean over to Jerry real quick. I just go, "It's a cult."
Yeah.
Meanwhile,
Yeah,
I lean down to Sawyer and say, "Yeah, I think you're right. It is a cult."
Yeah.
Mr. Patterson.
Oh yes.
The in between. Is it similar to our world? Like, is it like a mirror of our world, or is it different? Or is
close to a mirror, I would suppose. It's. That's why I didn't want to say it was another dimension, because it's the same place. It's just viewing it from the other side.
So it's like when you go to one of those carnivals and they have those weird like reflection things that make you look fat or skinny.
You mean mirrors?
That's pretty much just like it.
Eugene, you mean?
Well, they're not always, but they're not made of glass though. They're just reflective material.
They're like, it's still.
Well, if you do think
still
about
a mirror.
it, something's reflecting you.
Now,
still a
It's
mirror.
mirror.
Well,
Hold on
but
now.
a spoon isn't a mirror.
It doesn't have to be glass.
All right. Well, you say it's called the in-between. Why?
Hold on now, Bev. Okay, so
I'm
a
sorry?
mirror is mostly like the reflective material isn't glass. It's like some kind of mineral or like
Bailey.
or maybe metallic,
Are we
and
like
then it's
joining a
glass.
cult right now?
If
If you
Are we
stick,
joining
if
them?
you stick a bunch of spoons to a wall,
'Cause
does
I'm
that
fully
make a
ready.
mirror?
Does that make a mirror?
Currently,
this so much.
Mr. Patterson is just sighing to himself, sitting on
Guys,
the
we
That
are
was bad.
officially still teenagers.
Yeah.
Oh. He says, Bailey, you about done?
Yeah, sorry.
I
sorry,
sure
you
hope
can
so.
continue.
Now, so you're sorry to Bevelyn now. You interrupted her.
He glances over and looks down and says, "I'm sorry, Miss Bev."
Thank you very much. Now, my question was, it's called the in-between. Why? It's in between what? Is there a reason why it's called that way?
Well, this German fella, laugh at me, I can't remember his name. He came up with a real good name for it, but he theorized that hell did exist, and this wasn't quite hell, but it wasn't quite this world. It was just somewhere in between.
I see.
So that's what we call it. It's easier.
Is it
than-
like
I think there was like a Z in it. I don't remember. Haven't used the actual name for it in generations.
I'm gonna start asking my patron, see if he like voice. I'm not like outwardly, but just like in my head, I'm just gonna like in abyssal start mumbling like, is there any way that you know what that Z word is? I don't know, like maybe like is it like a ZE? Maybe if I jog your memory, I know it might have been a
I feel
while.
like there was a GH, maybe, I don't know.
Mr. Patterson, how many are left of you folk?
Well, it gets less and less every year. We actually tried to lessen the amount of us that knew of it. He looks at Bailey, with your dad's generation. We figured the in-between is a strange place because it's not only a place, it's almost alive. The more you know of it, the more it knows of you. That's why I asked whether or not you wanted to actually learn about it. because now that you know about it, it's gonna start taking notice. So we figured if the less people knew about it existed, then the less trouble it would cause. And we thought we were right because there was a pretty good span of time when nothing too bad went wrong. But I guess we were misled in our thinking.
So are you saying that Dad does not know about this?
He probably has some guesses, but I've never told him the things that I'm telling you now.
It makes me a little uncomfortable knowing that I know something that he doesn't, especially since it's so important to the family.
Well, he'll get over it. So will you. Anyway.
Mr. Patterson,
Yeah.
people go to the in-between?
No. Nope.
Okay.
No.
Okay. All right.
Shouldn't go there.
So
Real dangerous.
Why do you think there's been a spike in stuff that's been happening?
Recently? Couldn't tell you. Most of the time, in the past, when there's been a spike in occurrences of things either escaping the in-between or causing problems through it, it's been at the start of something real bad. Back when I was young, it was the start of, well, it was right before the Cold War. It lasted all the way through.
So earlier you said something a little weird. You know, this entire conversation's kind of weird, and the whole cult thing is a little weird, but more specifically, you said something that kind of was a little weird. You said that the Homestead Society's whole like job was to make sure that people that didn't practice it didn't get bothered by the people or whatever that do practice it. All I'm guessing is, are you telling me that because of association, we are now monster hunters?
Ha!
I mean, I wouldn't have named it that. But I suppose if a monster does come along and you happen to kill it, then yes.
And
I quite like the sound of that, actually.
how often do people who don't know get affected?
Well, everyone in some ways gets affected by the in-between. You know that feeling of someone watching you when you're in an empty room, or when you hear footsteps in an otherwise empty house? Sometimes you see shadows in places that there shouldn't be.
So you're,
Walkways that lead between buildings that either don't end or turn out in a different way. Roads that turn from paved to gravel to paved. Those, we call it slippage when the in-between leaks a little bit into the world. The thing that you should know is that even though you may not see it, the in-between sees you.
right.
So Pa, all the nights and things like sprinkling salt outside, and when you sometimes light torches around the property certain parts of the year, that kind of stuff, that's to keep the in-between away?
Well, our situation is a little bit special. We're less keeping it away more than keeping it contained.
Okay, like I'm having a hard time following. Forgive me.
No, it's
So
not your fault. I haven't really explained it too well to you.
but we're basically monster hunters.
If you choose to seek him out, then yeah. But I wouldn't if I were you.
So,
Well, what do we do about it
Oh,
then?
Yeah. So what should we be doing with this then? Like now that we know about it, what's our next step? What's the next thing?
Survive.
So, let me
Great.
get this straight. This association waits for the monsters to come to them?
Well, going into the in-between isn't a wise idea. And as long as they stay there, there isn't a whole lot of problem.
When's the
When they show
last
up,
time
we'll
anyone
deal with
ever
them.
tried going there?
1904.
What happened
Been
in
a while.
1904? What happened in 1904?
Oh, well, fella tried to go into the in-between. I don't know if we succeeded, but we never found him again.
Where did he go? Is there a place?
Probably to the in-between.
Yeah, but like, how did he get there?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Thank you, Sawyer.
Well,
He looks at you and ponders whether or not he should say something. Then he doesn't.
When we fought the headless arm thing.
Yep.
Yeah, that was terrifying.
Yeah.
You're telling me.
But I went up and I looked through the window, and it was like looking out over the town, but it was different. It was the same place, but there was like subtle things that were different about it. The sun wasn't, or the sky was in like a perpetual sunset, if I remember correctly, or there were like certain buildings that were missing and certain things that were there that don't normally. I can't remember all the details. I didn't get a good chance to like look at the whole thing, but it was. I mean, it seemed like what we're describing is a mirror realm, but things were different.
Now, Grant, you failed to tell us that back at the factory. You better not be making this up now.
Hey man, you can listen to me if you want.
I don't think he'd make up something like that.
Hey,
Well, I don't know. It is Grant.
DJ, I totally thought you were gonna be like, well, I don't know, man. You can roll an insight check on me, but like in character.
Yeah. That being said, insight check.
Go for it.
I'll help
What you got,
Jared since
bud?
I probed.
I
That's
mean,
possible.
I'm joking.
Jared doesn't
Jared,
even need to roll an insight
Yeah,
check,
Jared-
Jared
You're right with
knows.
me.
Jared just kind of
knows.
believes him.
They have
That's a
that
17
connection.
on die.
That's a 17. Oh yeah, I ain't telling no lies.
Oh yeah, and you guys do remember that there were some slim lines of what looked like
An orange sky.
kind of like afternoon light.
Yeah.
As you're kind of explaining what you saw, you do see Richard's face kind of grow dark. He goes, tell me a little more. Where did you end up fighting this thing? What happened? Where did you go? What did you see?
We went to the factory trying to find Timothy.
Timothy Larson.
Yeah. Timothy.
He went
Larson
missing.
boy?
Yeah. So we went to the factory to try and find him, and in doing so, we were just kind of like looking around, and there was this cloud of fog, and we were curious, and so we explored it, and in doing so, we found this thing. It was large and had like the torso of a man, except it had a neck but no head. It was just a hole that like went in, and then there were like several sets of arms that it had. Sawyer got slurped, basically.
Ah, Grant.
Yeah.
I mean,
So-
he's
That's
not wrong.
one way to say it. I mean,
But thankfully, due to some newfound abilities that a lot of us have, we were able to kill it, I guess. And then up in one of the upper windows is where that in-between, where the entrance to the in-between, I guess, was. Probably, I think about that's probably where that thing came out of, right? That's going to be like where it came from.
Well, we're gonna hope that this was some kind of isolated incident, because that would mean that it's not just slippage. That would mean that there's some kind of tear. But
a tear?
Should we go
yeah,
investigate it some more?
well, it isn't the first time that this has happened. The tears normally fix themselves up pretty quick, but
How quick is pretty quick?
well, as long as there isn't anything keeping it open, maybe a day.
How do we know if something's keeping it open?
If someone was still in there.
In the in-between?
Yeah.
Well, I reckon it's good that we got Timothy back from that strange fog.
Now, I
Right.
wonder if
Perhaps
one of
he
those boys got sucked in.
They were all over there, weren't they?
Yeah.
But
And
the
as far as
cars
I
were
know,
gone.
Crowbar and I couldn't find him, actually.
That is a good point. The cars were gone. Grant did point that out.
Yeah, I guess. I mean,
Now, granted, if I remember these guys correctly, I don't think they're the particularly loyal type.
yeah, I was actually just about to say that, Grant. I doubt all of them got sucked in, but I'm sure if one of them did, none of them were going in after him.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
well, a good way to figure this out would just be to go back tomorrow, and if it's still there, then we know that there's an issue,
All right.
right? That makes sense in my head, right?
I don't see why not.
Oh, that
Yeah.
does remind me. I should probably explain what exactly is going on with y'all.
That would be
that'd
nice.
great. That'd be really great.
You've all been experiencing some kind of strange situations and changes in your body.
Yeah,
that
like
you
this.
didn't expect.
And Jared points out his finger and Eldritch blasts a hole into his
Oh,
Jared, come on now.
watch
This
the
is our
workplace,
families.
all right?
Now, this is flammable.
heritage.
That's gonna take.
I-
That's like a day and a half worth of repairs right there.
As far as I know, it's not a fire. I honestly don't know what it is.
It's like
Yeah,
a.
But yeah,
It's
When
like
did you learn how
like
to
a
do that?
Force. Like
It's
What?
eldritch energy. Can't you
When-
tell?
it's
Yeah.
like it's
it's
like
it's
plasma.
like I harness the in between itself and
It's
condense
like-
it into my fingertips.
guys,
Right.
it's like what is that new sci-fi show that just came out with some movies like that
Shut
has those
up.
lasers?
Come on, let me do some research. When
Are
did
you
Star Wars
talking
come out?
about
Well, the
Star
the
Wars?
Is
prequels.
this just like a dirt floor?
The prequels came out
barn?
at like 1999 through 2002.
Wait, Aaron,
And
so is
the
this
original
just...
series came back all the way back in 1970 something rather.
God, what a nerd.
Cue Stranger Things theme.
Aaron, is
Yeah.
the barn just dirt floor?
There's a lot of it that's dirt floor. There is some more recent, like concrete that's been laid in specific locations, but a lot of it
Okay.
is dirt. Yeah.
Cool. What's Eugene standing on?
What do you
It's
want him to be
it's-
standing on?
Sawyer,
Dirt.
He's standing on dirt.
Mulder digging a hole under Eugene.
Sawyer, why?
Because I can.
I'll go over and I'll offer my hand to Crowbar.
I'll take Grant's hand and
I go,
Jared
pull
started
myself
it.
Out
out.
of the hole.
I go, and yeah, they're all. I mean, the only one that hasn't really changed all much is Bev. Bev's just as good of a shot as she always is.
Damn
I
right.
don't know, man. Like,
And
No
Crowbar,
offense to you,
I don't
Bev.
know. I don't know Crowbar. I haven't seen you swing a crowbar quite like that.
Hold on now. I want to hear what Grant has to say.
I didn't mean any offense. I just, you were good, but like some of the shots that you pulled off in there, that was pretty impressive.
Yeah. I mean, he's not wrong. You did like whip out your rifle really fast there.
Shotgun, but yeah.
I'm
Close enough.
Crowbar.
No,
My bad.
guys, I know that this stuff is kind of fun, but it on the off chance that it's dangerous, I don't know if we should go coaxing it or trying to do more.
Bailey, think about.
under Bailey.
Sawyer, that's what I'm talking about. See, what if you just made an endless pit or something without even knowing, and then
I
I'd be
helped
gone.
Bailey out. Now listen,
No,
Bailey.
I
You
can do
know
it.
Sawyer would never do that to you.
Not on purpose.
I-
That's what
I
I'm
don't-
saying. What if Jared just made our tractor blow up, our family tractor or something on accident, and then now we'd be out of tractor and somebody could get hurt. That's all I'm saying.
Well, somebody could get hurt if we don't intervene. Someone else that doesn't have powers like us. Or abilities, I should say.
Let's hope not.
But if we have these and we find them, then don't you feel some kind of responsibility to help those that don't?
Only if something happens.
Well, something did happen to Timmy Larson,
I
and he's
suppose.
probably not the first kid that it's going to happen to.
I think
No.
it's I think something to consider would be like what Coach Jones usually tells us. Like, it's one thing to just be like strong and like tackle somebody, but the goal isn't to hurt them. The goal is to just get them on the ground. Like, so there's certain ways you have to do it to make sure that you don't hurt them, but still accomplishing the goal.
I think
You
that's
could
a
also hurt them, though. I mean, there's something to be said for that.
Now, I think Grant did have a good, well put together thought there. Coach Jones, I think that was the wise of them to say. Pa, what do you think? Should we be messing with this stuff or maybe just put it behind us?
Well, we all are part of the Homestead Society now, and our goal is to not let the in between interfere with regular people's lives. So as long as you have control over it and you're only using it towards people that know, that's fine. But there will be consequences to be had if you start messing around with those that don't.
If there is a tear, though, won't there be consequences for not intervening?
Oh, if there's a tear, then y'all are going in.
In between, or?
Well, I say going in as a turn of phrase.
Okay.
You shouldn't actually enter, but you should close it.
How do we close it?
I don't know. I've never done it.
I mean, you got that book, but you were saying a lot of stuff from memory. Is there anything actually in it? I mean, are you going to open it?
Oh, no, this is just a ledger of names for the most part. I should finish explaining my thought regarding your abilities and what have you.
Real quick, because I don't want to gloss over this. You said that's a ledger of names, and when you opened it up, you mentioned something about Abe Lincoln. Are you trying to tell me that Abe Lincoln?
Wait, was Abe Lincoln
had power?
Was he like a vampire hunter or something?
Oh no. Oh no.
That would make a great movie. No, it was complete coincidence. It just happened to be that he made the act.
Okay.
And a bunch of people followed it.
Okay.
Well, I suppose it's not impossible
Sure.
that he had some kind of special abilities.
You know
He
who I
very
bet was a part of the Home
charismatic.
Society? Roosevelt. Roosevelt would have been a part of the Home Society.
Oh, yeah, for
Teddy
sure.
Roosevelt.
Oh, I reckon
Teddy
so.
Roosevelt was an
Maybe.
incredible man.
Yeah.
I yes.
You know what? I bet Abigail Adams was part of it, too.
Guaranteed.
So about our
I'm sure if I searched enough, yeah. Oh, yeah, sorry about that. Well, I don't know necessarily where each of y'all's abilities stem from other than Bailey's and maybe Bevelyn's. Bailey, ours is kind of a family thing, and it deals more with why we put the puppets and around the property and the stakes in the ground and salt in the fields. And...
It's not just for the animals?
No,
Well,
no.
I'm assuming not, based on the context.
Yeah, and the Winchester family has been gifted with both smithing and rifle making for years, and they've been a part of it. Obviously, as I said, they were one of the first families that came over. I think yours is a bit of a special case, even for your family. But well, if I knew your grandfather as well as I did, then
Which I'm sure you did.
you best believe I did.
So
He
what?
kind of like shakes his head.
with my family, what our abilities just stem from making guns and being good at shooting them?
Well, no, your grandfather was a smith. Smiths are real important jobs. We haven't had a good smith around these parts for years. He tried to teach your dad, but he never had the gift.
What does it
Wish
say?
he'd been able to teach me.
Yeah.
So you're saying that Bev has no talent whatsoever, and it's all a part of her powers?
What?
Nothing. I didn't say anything.
Oh, no. No, the Winchester family is... well, obviously, they are eventually gifted with incredible ability and can do many things that most people couldn't, even with a normal weapon. But even a rifle made by the Winchesters... you ever heard of Annie Oakley? You oughta.
Right?
Well,
Sure.
she used a Winchester rifle for a good number of years, and... well, if you don't know about her, look her up. Hell of a shot.
Oh my gosh. I feel like such an idiot.
Part
I
of,
just now made the connection to the
Yeah.
Winchester name to the actual gun company.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, good job. Good job. Wait, was that in character?
No.
No,
Okay.
That was
that's
DJ.
DJ.
Oh,
no,
That's
that
just DJ being DJ.
Yes, good job.
I'm an
Good job,
idiot.
DJ. Now, okay, that makes sense. Like the Winchesters, they have the trade of smithing and making weapons. Sure, they're good with their hands and
Right.
mechanics. Now, our family's good at farming. We carry that trade. Jared's family maybe is good at poetry or something.
Maybe that's just
I don't know.
That's just me.
But
Just
what
Jared
what I'm
thing.
getting at is that doesn't seem too far off to think that a family might carry a trade they're good at. Like,
Well, it's more than the trade. The Winchesters, I'm not the one to explain how your family works. That would be up to,
Right.
well, your father if he knew more, but it's most of the information has probably been lost. Bailey, our family, it's more than farming. It's specifically regarding our property here.
And this stuff like carries on outside all your corn and weird weather.
What carries on?
The whole like family thing. Like I'm not from here.
Well, that's the other part of it. It isn't always inherited. As I said, there's what we call slippage. And if too much slippage gets out in a specific area, it can change the place. And if you happen to be in that area for a long time, or if you come from it, then it can change it. I remember
Cool.
one of the worst
Nah.
cases this happened was 1871. Big area slippage all across the Midwest. Fires all over the place.
the Dust Bowl.
A Dust Bowl was another one of them.
Oh, what are you
So-
referring to then? I
Oh,
suppose my history
No,
isn't
the
as good
Midwestern
as I know.
fires. The most notable being the Chicago
Oh,
Fire of
yeah.
1871.
I do
Great Chicago
remember.
Fire. It said it was Mrs. O'Leary's cattle that knocked it over. That was an absolute lie.
So, you're saying that there are certain events that can go on that give people these abilities.
Sometimes.
I just kind of like to look back at my truck and just stay there quietly.
Okay, so we never told you this, I don't think. Maybe we did. Forgive me if we already said this. We all had the same dream. We
Right.
were us, but or at least we perceived one another as each other. And we all were dressed in old clothes, like old armor, and we had old weapons. And we were fighting something. Do you think maybe we're all connected somehow? Maybe there's something, I don't know, trying to make something happen?
Boy, I'm not a prophet. The in-between does what it does. I just farm it.
So do you have like a list of things that can come from the in-between? Is it like a set bestiary?
A guide, you mean? Like a guide?
Well, all honesty, when I was fighting back during the Cold War, we never actually saw what we were fighting. It was a real tricky business fighting invisible things. But they never
what is
fully
it?
exited the in-between.
What does it mean? If we saw what we were fighting, we saw right there.
That's what I'm afraid of.
Now, Pa, speaking of invisible things, why this? I'm just asking out of curiosity. Why don't you let me out when, like past sunset or during sunset? Is there a reason for that?
Sunset's a dangerous time.
I'm-
Yeah,
I mean, I knew we got our superstitions, but is there
you're
something
still
I
stuck
need to
on
know about?
Superstitions, boy. Grant even told you, in between's in constant sundown. There's a reason for that. It's in between night and day. The more things that are almost there, the more likely it is that the in between will happen. And for us, that field in specific, it's a real bad time to be there.
And now you keep talking about how our property is special or something. How do you know that? I mean, why?
Well,
There's a
What did our
monster.
family do?
he looks at you, Sawyer, and he goes, "Well, you're not wrong."
How have you not told Father about this? My dad
He-
deserves to know.
He isn't as curious as you are.
But what if
stays
he's
of
caught
field
out there with the
sundown.
monster, Pa?
Well, apparently he's also better at following rules than you are.
Yes, sir.
So, let me just get this straight. Sundown is like a no good time around here.
Most of the time, it isn't that big of a deal. As long as you aren't caught in the field between around, let's say it's spring, summerish right now, 8 to 9, give or take.
What time is it now?
Oh, well, I don't have a clock in here
7
anymore.
o'clock. I checked my phone.
That sounds about right. He goes, well, 7 o'clock? Well, she'll about have dinner ready. Well, we gotta finish up here. Anyway, welcome to the Homestead Society and all that. Oh, wow. When you enter, normally I'd give you a gift, but I wasn't expecting it. So, if you see anything in the shed that you like, go right ahead. Well, one of them, though, don't clean us out.
There's not much in here, Pa.
I cast Eldritch Sight one more time, and I go, actually, there's a lot in here. Whatever has been talking to me for the past while is pointing them out to me. And I'm going to walk up to one of the items.
I'm gonna lean next to Eugene. The voice is in his head. Jared, wait, which one should I get? I'm just gonna run over with him.
Okay, Sawyer.
Jared kind of points some items out to everyone. Sawyer, none of them super catch your eye as interesting to you, except for like, I don't know. There's not a whole lot in here. It's just a bunch of farm tools, really. Jared, you point out there is an old tool belt sitting on the bench that appears to be enchanted, that Eugene is all over. Like this thing, like, a good belt, like a good tool belt when you see one. This is the type of tool belt you can't find anymore. Like 6 pockets, deep like real deep pockets, belt loops, clips. Like, you could fit so much in this belt.
Yeah.
Even if it was just a normal belt, it would be worth it.
Yeah.
Bailey, the thing that actually kind of catches your eye, Jared almost doesn't even notice, even though it is kind of magical to you, Jared. It's sitting just in a little corner of the barn behind like some leftover hay that's been piled up, ready to be thrown out. There is an old grass scythe. And Bailey, you actually remember this. A couple years back, your mower broke down, and your dad spent hours trying to find this thing to cut the grass before he eventually found it. Thing's sharp.
Oh,
Like,
I
all the
remember.
tools in
He
here?
made me.
Oof.
He made me mow about half the property with that thing. It was not fun, but
Wasn't
it
fun,
did the
but
job.
it worked. It was a sharp scythe. And Jared, you do notice that it is magical. Grant, you actually, just before Jared points them out, you do see that there's a real sleek pair of leather gloves, like leather work gloves, that are like surprisingly well maintained and like worn in and just soft. They almost feel like catcher's gloves, like as a wide receiver. And so you grab those. And Jared, the only thing that really catches your eye here is an old canvas jacket. Dark, brooding, totally your vibe. And that is what you find. But Sawyer and Bev, nothing super catches your eye in here. Like, there's a couple of things around, but nothing incredible. Eventually you do hear a voice not call at the door, though. It is Bailey, your dad, shows up and he goes, oh, hey kids, dinner's ready. And Bev Winchester.
That's right.
I should have known. Your dad's waiting for you down at the house.
Oh, all right. You been there today?
No, like our house. Like, he's in the driveway.
Oh, all right. Thank you very much.
He said it would just be real quick. He didn't want to interrupt you and your friends, but
Oh.
he asked for me to come get you.
All right. Well,
It's good
thank you
seeing
very
you.
Yeah, thank you very much,
It's been
Mr.
a
Patterson.
while. Oh shoot. Oh, is anyone here real good with plants?
Well, I mean,
well, Sawyer, she's really good, honestly. Like, I've never seen someone great in a garden like her.
That's
now
right.
that I can help you out if you need it. You know I've been helping you out since
Bailey,
forever.
you know your mother doesn't let you in the garden anymore.
Listen, that was like one time 4 years ago.
One time is more than enough for Kathy. Sawyer, is that what I hate to be? It's so rude of me, but she could really use some help bringing in some extra food for dinner, just some like garnishes and stuff. It's just down by the house. She really doesn't like if people don't, if like they end up pulling something or stepping on something that they shouldn't. The garden is kind of her like domain. So, but I would really appreciate. I don't know the difference between a sunflower and a marigold.
There's a really big difference, actually.
Is there? They're both flowers. That's all I got.
You really sound like you'll get along.
She's gonna skip over.
Mr. Patterson, would you say that it is like her favorite terrain to be in?
I mean, I wouldn't use that turn of phrase, but I suppose that would be, in general, what I would have said. Yes.
Drew, are you trying to make my mother a ranger?
What's wrong with being a ranger, Grant?
It's funny.
Yeah,
it caught me off guard.
Grant's out here like, we are a proud family of paladins.
Anyways, Ma is waiting down at the house. She's getting the table all set and all that.
Right. Well, I'll meet you guys up there then. I'll go see my dad.
Well, come on, gang. Let's go get some grub. Woo!
I go find.
Gosh.
Dad,
you're so
I go find
embarrassing.
my dad.
Yeah, sure enough. Bev, your dad is leaning up against his blue truck. Your dad's a good-looking guy. You know, good dude.
Yeah.
Was tall. Yeah, all around stellar. Doesn't actually bear a whole lot of resemblance to you.
Interesting.
Hair's a little darker. But like there's some you have the same nose, same jawline.
Little did you know he married into the Winchester name and took the Winchester name.
Right.
Very progressive family.
He sees you and
Yes.
he waves. And he goes, Bev?
Yeah.
Bevelin, is it? I'm sorry. I know you
That's
hate
all
it.
right. I know.
And I'm sorry.
It's all right.
Is it true that you learned some stuff today? Are you in the know?
Are you in the know?
Yeah. Well,
Hell yeah,
Well,
I'm in
best
the
is
know. What do you know?
he is happier than you have ever seen your dad. He says, "I have been waiting for this day for
All right.
years."
Wait, I thought. Well, Bailey's grandpa. They said that your generation didn't know much. What do you know?
Well, Bailey's grandpa and your grandpa didn't get along too well.
Right, I could tell as much.
And he didn't quite agree with not telling the next generation. So he tried to teach me, but I'm real good at making normal things.
I playfully tap him on the shoulder. I say, "You kept this from me, Dad."
It ain't right unless, look, if they were right and the next generation, like, it just kind of canceled things out, then I didn't want to cause trouble for nobody.
Right.
And after your mom left, I was just trying to raise you right, okay?
Right. Mm-hmm.
But I'm really sorry. But
It's all right. I'm not upset with you. I just wish you told me earlier. This is cool stuff.
It is real cool. Did you already take a gift? It's. you
No,
have to
I
take-
didn't. I didn't really see anything that I
Oh,
liked.
thank goodness. I'm glad that that Patterson fella didn't give you something because,
Why? Do you
it is-
have something for me?
yes,
What did you do?
there is one singular moment. There are 3 moments in my life where I have been the proudest man I've ever been.
All right.
First time, when I married your mother.
Right.
Second time, when you were born. Third time was actually just a little bit after the second. You were born out of flash of inspiration, something I've never had before. And I did what I always do, and I made a gun.
Right. Right.
And I don't know where it came from. It was like a bolt out of the blue. I just knew it. And I have been waiting to give this to you since the day you were born, quite literally.
That's a long time.
Like on the drive back from
You've
the
been
hospital.
sitting on this that long.
Well, yes. Literally this long. I have waited for so long.
Well, what were you gonna do if I never found out for myself? Just keep it to yourself.
know. Be buried with it. I don't know what I was gonna do with it. But I'm so glad that I get to give it to you. And he reaches into the truck, and he pulls out a little wooden box, around the size. You've seen these boxes. He actually hand makes them. It's part of his like whole thing where like if people buy a custom made gun, then he has a nice little box for it. Normally it's like engraved, but this is just a perfectly smooth, almost seamless box with no other engravings in it. And he hands it to you and he says, well, I don't know what it means,
All right.
but its name is Dion Moo.
Now, did you come up with that name for yourself?
I don't know. Same way as I don't know, I've never been good at making stuff like this. But same as the blueprints and the different ways and all the little bits and bobs I added to it came into my head, so did the name.
All right.
And you open the box. Inside is a beautifully crafted, it almost looks like it would be ornamental. Silver and like shiny gunmetal. It's almost reflective, like it's mirror-esque.
Wow.
Of course, it can't be actually a mirror because we previously defined in the episode
Right.
how mirrors work. But there are just little bits and bobs that kind of poke off of it. A slim iron sight. By the way, this is exactly the type of iron sight that you've been using for years now.
Right.
A little bit longer of a barrel than like a standard 6-shooter would normally have.
Mm-hmm.
But the moment you touch it, the grip fits right in your hand. And it actually kind of shocks you when you touch it a little bit. And you're not sure what that means, but it isn't the first time that you've been shocked, so you're kind of getting used to it.
Right.
And he says, well, what do you think?
Daddy, this is beautiful. You made this for me?
Oh, yes, I did. And he scoops you into a big hug and he says, Bev, I'm real excited for you, but I just hope that you stay safe.
Of course, you know me.
I know it's real dangerous out there.
Right.
All right,
I'm more worried about the other boys, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, shoot. Well, you best take care of them too. I'm taking up your time.
That's all right. That's all right.
I should leave you to your friends. They'll take good care of you. You know the Pattersons.
I know. Yes.
I'm only a little sad myself that I'm not going to be eating that dinner tonight.
Would you like? I'm sure there'd be enough.
I've got some orders that I've got to get done.
Alrighty.
You
Well,
have a good night, you hear?
I don't know if I'll be coming home tonight. I hear it's not safe after dark now, about this, so
That's fine. You're
I'll
you're
give you
your
a
own
call.
woman
I'll
right
let
now.
you know.
You are grown. You're out of high school.
that I
You
am.
are I'm getting in your I'm too much in your life. I need to leave you to your own devices.
Thank you.
He says, now you have a good safe night. You hear?
I plan to.
All right, bye.
All right, love you, Daddy.
Yep. He like kind of awkwardly stands out of his truck and he realizes he's not in it. And he gets in his truck and he's waving to you the whole time he backs down the driveway.
Mr. Winchester simultaneously being like one of the greatest gunsmiths on the planet, also being the softest person on the planet.
Why was I close to crying when he was giving me the gun? My eyes were watering. I thought it was gonna happen. Why?
The rest of you head towards the house. Sawyer, you split off. You can see down in the garden. There is Bailey's mother, Catherine. You can see her. She has a tote in one arm. She is pulling a kind of like a tub trug. Yeah, that's an actual thing. Behind her, trying to struggling to get over the fence. As you kind of get closer. Catherine is the definition of Midwestern mom, brunette hair, pulled into a ponytail, she's wearing a visor, some ratty old shirt that she probably got from back in college, tennis shoes, no makeup because that would just be a waste, covered in sweat and dirt. But she sees you come down and she goes, "Oh, thank heavens. Are you one of Bailey's friends?"
You can say that. You're Billy's mom.
Yeah, that's me. You can call me Catherine or Kathy or Bailey's mom if that makes you feel better. I am so sorry. I'm a little bit rushed. I got a little lost in time. Would you mind just picking some chives, chopping some chives for me? Just getting some of the extra herbs and spices out of the garden. If we're having potatoes, can't have potatoes without chives.
You can't?
Well, you shouldn't.
Noted.
I'm sorry. Would you mind helping me over the fence? You know what chives are, right?
Yes,
I
I know. I got it.
Oh, thank
And she'll go and help her.
Yep. You help her over the fence, and she says, "I'm gonna carry these up to the house and help Ma finish off dinner. Just don't hurt anything, please."
I wouldn't dream of it.
Thank you. You're a good girl. And she kind of limps and pulls this
So it just kind of goes, never
it's
been
just
called
filled
that
with
before.
zucchini and tomatoes and just random fruits and vegetables up the hill. Yeah, you head into the garden. There's so many random fruits, vegetables, and otherwise in this garden. It's a garden, but it's basically its own small farm. Sure enough, you see over in the corner, she has a section kind of designated for different herbs and stuff. In the corner next to the actual fence post, just on the edge, you can see the patch of chives that she was probably referring to. But as you head over to it, kind of walking through this well-maintained, very orderly garden, you do notice something moving on the ground. And as you look at it, you thought it was maybe a field mouse or something, a vole or something like that. But it's actually, you see that the plants are moving. In specific, there is among the herbs, their leaves have kind of woven together and made a little ring. It smells faintly of peppermint.
She'll pick it up.
Yeah, as you pick it up, what was originally part of the plants, the stems kind of just snap off, fold around, and you have this perfect little round ring of peppermint. Fits like a glove.
She's gonna do a little dance in the garden.
Now,
Yep,
just to clarify, this is a ring that fits on her head, right?
Yes.
Okay. Just for image
Just-
sake, I like
Is
that.
married
Yes.
to
Continue.
the earth. No, it's a ring.
So you finish up chopping some chives, head in. Dinner is delicious. Pork roast,
Hold on.
gravy.
Sorry to cut you off,
potatoes.
DM.
Yes.
But Bailey was actually kind of waiting for Bev by the door.
yeah. Bev, you head back up. Bailey's standing at the door. You can hear some bustling of like plates and glasses being set down. Some goes, y'all want milk or water?
Ooh, milk, 100%. Can it be chocolate milk?
Oh, sorry, we don't have.
Brown cows?
No. He actually does. You can
That's a
tell
good
it's
one.
Bailey's dad. He does laugh at that. But yeah, you can hear the standard like pre-dinner banter. But Bailey's standing at the door waiting for you.
Hi there.
He looks a little bit sad. And he looks up and he says, "Now, I know that it's not really any of my business, but what were you doing off with Crowbar?
Nothing happened.
Just you and him."
Bailey. Nothing happened. He was gonna go get himself into trouble, and I didn't want him to get hurt. All right? There's nothing else there.
Okay, now tell me the truth. Are you interested in Crowbar? I'm just curious. And by doing so, he unknowingly casts Zone of Truth.
Yeah!
And as he's asking if she's interested in Crowbar.
I believe you have to make a charisma save, Ben?
Yes.
All right.
Correct.
Oh my! I've never been so happy.
I'm not
I'm
sure
so
100%. I
happy.
want to say charisma.
Well, not sure. All right, what's the save?
I don't know how to do that.
I'm on it. Zone
Hey,
of Truth,
you're
charisma
a
save. Got it.
18.
Are you up?
Your
Okay,
spell
that
save
saves.
DC is gonna
Bailey-
be 8 plus your proficiency bonus plus your charisma modifier.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's 14. Fast math, you win. Good
So
job.
yeah, you know that she has succeeded, so she does still have the ability to lie to you. So you know
Oh,
that for
no.
a fact.
Oh no.
No, I am not.
Okay. Sorry for prying, Miss
That's
Bev.
all right.
Yes,
We can head in now, I suppose.
Yes.
After you, he
Sawyer
holds
Blakely?
the screen door open.
Walk
When it's
in.
time for Sawyer to come in, she's gonna come in very glamorously, very gesturing towards her head.
Well,
as
look
she
at
walks
you.
in.
Catherine does kind of look at you and go, "Oh, thank goodness, the shot. Were you messing around my peppermint?"
No,
Oh no.
the earth gave it to me.
You
She
know there
looks at
might be
you.
bugs in there.
Now, Mrs. Patterson, to be fair, she is very good with plants. I would not be surprised if they did just straight up hand it to her on a silver platter.
She does walk up and kind of examine your headpiece now. She goes, "Well, maybe I just missed it. I mean, there's no way that you cut this. There's no. It doesn't even look. Are you sure this isn't real plant, is it?" Nah. And she said, "Oh, thank goodness. Well, at least you got the chives. We're just finishing up for dinner. Milk or water?"
Water.
Good choice.
Water for me, please.
I'll take some milk. You know how
Oh
I like
yeah,
it.
please.
Do you guys have any chocolate syrup?
No.
We've been through
I'm
this.
so sorry about
You
that.
guys.
I missed that. I'm sorry. I missed that part as I went in to grab my chocolate milk from upstairs.
I would just like to specifically make sure that I sit next to Jared.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
100%.
Can I sit next to Bailey?
Yes.
Bailey sat down.
Can I sit on the
Let's see.
table?
There are
Bailey sat
enough.
down before Bev, so to see what Bev would do. If Bailey could, he'd like to try to leave a spot open next to Crowbar and also next to me.
So basically, so Bailey, in other words, there's you, then there's me, and then there's either on your side or my side.
Yes, indeed. And I'm trying to see what Bev will do, if that's possible.
Well, where does
Sawyer
Sawyer
jumps and
sit?
sits next to Bailey.
Bailey sighs.
Wait. Okay.
I was waiting. I see this and I sigh a little bit and I sit next to Crowbar.
I kind of lean over to Bailey. It's like, hey, Bailey. Here, I can't actually lean this way because otherwise I'm away from my microphone. I have to lean this way.
What do you want, Crowbar?
Bailey, I was just gonna ask if you wanted to switch spots.
Why would you say that?
Well, I noticed. I get down a little. Well, I noticed. That,
Sawyer's just grinning.
I noticed that there's a bit of disappointment in Bev's sigh when she sat down next to me, indicating that she wanted to sit down next to you. So I'm trying to be your wingman here, dude.
You're not kidding.
No,
She
I'm not
did that?
kidding. Yeah, she did that. Didn't you hear it?
No.
Well, shoot. Oh, I'm so sorry, guys. I have to be right back.
Bailey, wait. You wanted to sit next to Bev? Is that what you wanted?
I mean,
I cast
There-
message real fast.
this is a mess.
I cast message real fast to Sawyer and I go, stop being a jerk. Come on.
I mean, if there was seats open,
It's
I
fine.
might-
You're gross anyway, and I'm gonna get up and
Oh,
I'm
hey
gonna wait
now.
for Bev to move.
You're the one with plants in your hair. There could
I'll
be
get
bugs
up.
in that.
I'll get up. I will flash a look at Sawyer that's kind of like, come on now, leave him alone.
Sawyer's gonna give a little wink.
And I'll sit next to Bailey.
And Bailey kind of says, I am so sorry about that. I did not do anything. I'm so embarrassed.
I know, it's all right.
I sit back down.
As far as you all can tell,
Bailey's very red, by the way.
parents
Just
and
blushing.
grandparents are totally oblivious.
Quote, the quotation mark.
But yeah, dinner is phenomenal. You can tell all of this is homegrown or locally sourced.
Nice.
Straight up, anything that is a vegetable or earth grown adjacent probably was grown here.
Adjacent.
Look, potatoes aren't vegetables; they're a starch. Okay.
True.
Earth grown adjacent.
Does that include milk?
I'm sure
That
they
seems
have.
adjacent to Earth grown.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
I think that
it's a
could
partial
count like
ranch.
anything on the planet.
Well, no. Earth grown adjacent, specifically regarding some form of plant life. If
I
I'm
see.
going
So
to be
just-
clear.
So not
Because-
cows.
No, you have a dairy cow, so the milk does come from the Patterson farm, but the roast beef actually comes from the Johnson livestock.
Very important stuff. Your quality D&D player.
Yeah, I just really wanted to make sure non-GMO.
Yeah.
Is it gluten free?
No,
Dang it.
no. Gluten
No
is a
way.
necessity in this household.
Gluten-free meat.
Yes.
Exactly.
They add the gluten themselves.
They
Yeah.
put wheat into.
That's
It's
horrible.
a terrible process. You have like 7 needles they have to stick in different parts of the
Oh
cow.
no! Oh no! Oh no!
This is
they do
gone too
actually
far.
this is the real horror.
This is
No,
why I'm technically a vegetarian.
not preservatives.
Wait, Grant's a vegetarian?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's way healthier.
Do I? All right.
But they have normally, Grant, you have to kind of like supplement your diet with the vast amount of vegetables here. Like, you actually don't have to worry about whether or not you're going to get enough protein because like they just have it all. Everything's
Nice.
there. It is
got a lot of beans.
absolutely delicious.
Oof.
Rice has
And-
protein.
Oh yeah,
We
it's
have rice.
easy.
Broccoli.
There is not rice.
I
This
didn't
is the
figure.
Midwest.
I didn't figure exactly. Yeah, I'll have a lot of beans and protein.
Oh,
not
yeah.
Beans and protein. Beans and broccoli.
Beans and broccoli for days.
Cauliflower.
All
Good old
day.
beans and broccoli. Well,
Um,
The
Carrots.
I like how one of the longest conversations we've had here is just regarding what food is there.
These are the important things.
Yes.
pork chops and
but,
mashed potatoes.
Can you tell
over
that some of
over
us are
dinner,
hungry?
the conversations vary vastly between like, oh, what do you all think that you're going to be doing? Like, now that you're out of high school, like, where are you gonna go? What have you been doing? They ask some very tentative questions towards Sawyer because they don't really know who you are. They've heard a little bit about Eugene. Everyone's kind of heard about Eugene. Jared, they have actually seen some of your poetry. It was by complete chance,
Oh no.
but they bring it up and ask you how that's going. Most of the conversation stems around Grant, Bailey, and Bev because they know who you are.
Meanwhile, Sawyer, Jared, and I just kind of form our own little unit.
It's a great time. But yeah, it is a delightful time, and for a brief moment, you can forget that Sawyer, that you almost got devoured by the void earlier this day, and you almost watched a boy who is now permanently traumatized for the rest of his life get just eaten by a thing without a head. And you all fall fast asleep that night, remaining at the Patterson residence. It's a very large house. It's one of those
There's like 10 guest bedrooms.
Yeah, where it's just real long, like just a real long house.
They just own a motel.
Yes, Bev?
Before we decide to go to sleep, I'd like to give a call to my dad and let him know that I'm staying here tonight.
Oh, of course.
Okay.
You pull out your razor, your BlackBerry. Yep, sure enough, he says, well, you have a good night.
I will.
Now, I know that you're a grown adult, but before you make any decisions
Dad.
regarding,
Oh.
well, I know, you know.
I know. I could take care of myself, you know.
Yeah.
Use protection.
Now, but you just, you know how boys are.
Dad.
Okay. I know. I'm sorry.
Wait,
But, yeah, you
All
have a good night. Good night.
You
Stay safe.
too. All right.
Keep Dion Moo on you.
All right. I got it.
You never know,
I got
just-
it.
All right now.
All
Good
right.
night.
Good night.
Speaking of that, at some point in the night, I'll sneak into Jared's room.
Oh yeah, it just happens.
before we go to bed, I'll find Bailey.
Yep.
Bailey's
Bailey,
in
you
his
actually
room.
have a room.
Yes. Yes, I do.
Bailey, I'm just gonna let you know, I'll meet you guys back here in the morning. My dad doesn't really trust me to be out nowadays, so I'll meet you guys back later.
Sure thing. I'll let the others know. I mean, we
Yeah.
do have a place here if you want to stay, but you better. If
Oh,
your
trust
father
me, I
wants
would
you
rather
back.
do that, but that's not an option. So
All right. Well, go ahead. I mean,
Yeah,
honor your
I'll-
father and mother. I admire that.
Bailey, you would know that my mom's dead.
Did he say that?
Well, but you would know
You
that his
would
mom
know.
was dead.
Yes, but Crowbar didn't say that, right?
No.
No, that's just Drew's telling you that his
Oh,
mom
Yeah,
was
that
dead.
was
and then he
true.
says, "Oh no, Bailey." And then he says, honor your father.
I'm gonna go now.
You can go ahead. I'm sorry. Yeah, just
And
I'll see you tomorrow.
yep, and I walk.
Oh, my.
And I'll get in my car and go home.
Yes, indeed. Sawyer?
So wait, so do we have like rooms?
Oh yeah, you each have an individual room.
Guest bedrooms.
It's a big old farmhouse.
Rich farmers.
Is there like a rug in the room?
Yes.
I'm gonna sleep on the rug.
Doable. It's hand woven.
Nice.
Yeah, as watch out. There's a finger.
I apologize. Real quick, before, just in case something happens, I would take Bev's bicycle out of my trunk, and I'll just lean it up against Bailey's truck.
Strong
Appreciate
choice.
that.
Strong
Thank you.
choice.
Before I leave.
Yes, you all fall peacefully asleep. For the first time in a long time, you don't have one of those weird dreams. So that's a new development. I'm also going to surprise you all by just throwing a real fast time skip at you.
Oh dear.
Don't worry, you guys all live. Congratulations, you have
Cool.
lived through the night.
We did it,
winning.
guys.
We
That's
won
fa-
D&D.
that's
Guys,
great.
we have won D&D.
We beat.
Uh,
We're old
But-
now.
You guys wake up in the morning and all head to your respective houses, do what you would normally do. And time passes relatively quickly. You all go back, you check the oh geez, I've lost words. The tear in the factory, that's what it's called. It is closed. It is now just a normal wall of fog. You walk towards the end, you hit the back, you walk towards
You
the front,
know,
you're good.
like you do.
That's
real
I
humid
love
here.
that.
It's very humid. Fog in a room, it happens. And without really any leads to go on, Crowbar, you managed to find Randall after some convincing. You got nothing. He was just doing his normal jerkish self.
Okay.
He was just being not a cool guy. He has a couple more dents in him now than he did before because of crowbar-shaped dents. But you know, what are you gonna do? But yeah, time passes, and the biggest thing that you guys notice, day after day, week after week, is you remember the statement that Mr. Patterson told you of the more you know of the in-between, the more it knows of you. All those things that he mentioned, Bev, as you're sitting alone in your house, your dad is in the shop working on things. You'll hear maybe a footstep or two, or even one time you hear the sound of a pistol hammer being cocked back. Jared, while you're sitting in your room writing poetry, knife on the table, you can still hear the voices. But now even more than that, sometimes the words that you write down, you're not sure if they're your own. But then when you look and reread through it, sure enough, it's the poem that you wrote. Grant, as you're working those long hours getting ready for ag college, sitting on the porch, studying up beforehand, working on that business mentality, every once in a while, the sound will just stop. The cicadas will stop buzzing. The birds will stop chirping. There's no flapping of wings. There's not a mouse that moves. And you get this ever-present feeling that you're being watched. Crowbar, as you're in your shop working with your dad, you'll be turning your wrench and a very similar thing will happen. The noise will end and you'll just hear a single screw drop and just roll around the corner. And when you go to grab it, it's not there anymore. And you question why you even have a screw in the first place, because you're in a mechanic shop. Sawyer, you spend a lot of time in the next couple weeks kind of hanging out in your own little personal spot in that abandoned train car in the woods. You still look across and you can see the tree that fell, that had your name carved in it. It has now slowly begun to be overgrown by weeds and moss. But day after day, the animals become almost a little bit more friendly. You now see that there are birds that have made nests on your train car and around it. The grass is evergreen, and you notice that your crown never fades. It never wilts, it never withers. But there's just this eerie sense that some of these animals aren't from here. They're not from Nebraska. And you're not sure where they come from or where they go. And those nests that you see are gone in a day. And Bailey, you're working late hours in the fields, harvesting, fixing pivots, just doing your daily work, but as the time approaches and the sun begins to fall and you hurry your way out of that cornfield, more and more you can almost feel a breath at your back, the sound of hooves behind you, and a smell, this horrible smell of rot and decay that follows you up until when you step out of that cornfield, heels just turning dirt. But the moment you turn back, nothing but the waving golden stalks. And this continues and progresses week after week until almost a month passes. It is now June, late June in specific. And you all are gathered at the town's yearly get-together. It's basically a massive potluck. It has been going around in this town since way before any of you guys were born. No one's sure what started the tradition or why it happens. But just for some reason, around June, maybe 20th, some weekend in there, the whole town gets together and they bring food. Grant, your dad is a big, right now he's sure enough running for mayor. And so he is all in on this. It's marketing heaven. He has bought licenses to have big bouncy castles set up around the town. But the biggest thing is he has single-handedly helped fund one of the, if not the biggest event of the day, a baseball game. Ooh. Where local members of the school, some teachers, and members of the community can sign up and get kind of voted in to play. Sure enough, your dad has bought shirts for his team that is funded. It literally, the shirts literally just say your number, and then on the front it says "Vote Johnson for mayor."
And can I be on the opposing team?
You are the pitcher.
Can I be on the opposing
specifically?
Team,
you can be on the opposing team. Bailey, you are on the other team from Grant. Jared, you are the catcher on Grant's team.
Wait.
Yes?
Is Bailey on the mayor's team?
Yeah, he's technically Grant? He has the shirt "Vote for Vote Johnson for mayor."
Love it. Love it. And
Jared is
you
are playing catcher.
Yes,
Bev, if you would like to play, you certainly are almost definitely on Bailey's team.
Oh yeah.
Crowbar, I would assume that your dad has helped with like the grill out. So you can either be a part of that, you can be a part of the team. Same thing for Sawyer. Your mom is doing tarot card readings and fortune telling in a little booth off to the side. So you are all gathered there. Sawyer, normally you wouldn't participate, but the baseball field is right next to the forest where your train car is. And so it's kind of hard to relax when there's just like a ton of noise. So I know those four are playing. Crowbar, are you playing on the teams?
No, but I probably would be like nearby just watching because I don't really want to help my dad grill.
It's a good thing because at one point in time, the speaker system goes out and there was a big panic because the announcers, they did hire announcers for this. The announcers couldn't do their jobs, but you were right there. Your tool belt is on. You reach in. You have all figured out what your specific items do by now. You reach into one of those bottomless pockets, pull out the perfect tool for the job, set to work. Maybe 15 seconds flat, you've got this thing back up and running. Specifically, I am going to zoom in at a very, very important point in time. Bottom of the ninth. Oof. The score is set at 2-2.
Oh, yeah.
Bev, you're on second base. Currently, the count is 2 outs. Grant, you've been pitching fire tonight. The only reason they scored 2 points was because they put in the relief pitcher.
Just gotta rest my shoulder for just a second.
Jared, you're behind the plate, legs stretched out in a kind of old-fashioned catcher position. You and Grant, the dynamic duo, are ready to go.
Yeah.
And then Grant, one of a thing that has plagued you for years. Nightmares of this moment, because this moment has repeated itself multiple times.
No.
When
Don't do this to me.
codenamed Big Country,
No.
Bailey Patterson steps up to the plate.
That is definitely what the back of my shirt says. Big country.
Oh.
You hear that walk-on song. He's one of the only players that has a walk-on song. It's just like wow wow. The steel guitar comes in.
That was the part of the announcer that I fixed first.
That's good. That was good, DJ.
And the announcer says, "And stepping up to the plate, the Patterson boy, Big Country."
Bailey, like, very calmly, like, and composed, respectfully, just walks up to the plate, kind of leisurely, and then he does the thing where he, like, twists his foot on the ground, his cleat, and, like, kicks it a couple times, spits out his sunflower seeds to the right, and then grips his bat tighter and gets down in his batting position and stares down Grant, and oh, yes, I know exactly what to do. When he looks at Grant and stares him down, he's thinking about just knocking that ball. That was a bad choice of words.
No, stick with it, bud. Stick with it.
Yes, okay. When
You're
he thinks he's gonna knock that thing out of the park, he casts Searing Smite, which deals a 1d6 extra fire damage if I hit, and it lights it on fire.
DM.
Yes.
Two things.
Yeah, Jared.
One. As soon as he spits the sunflower seeds out, Jared immediately is gonna be like, "Hey, yo, man, are you gonna be the one that's gonna pick those up? Because I ain't touching those." And
Did you not see that this was a baseball diamond?
listen, man, you're all making a mess around here. I'm just saying, and someone's gonna be the one that's gonna have to pick that up. And I'm doing that mainly to distract them, because meantime, with my non-gloved hand, and tell me if this would help him. Would a haste help Grant by any chance?
So, Grant, what I'm going to be doing, I will give you advantage with your help from Jared. You don't even have to cast haste spell for this.
Okay.
How this is going to work? I'm going to have you roll an athletics check with advantage.
Oh yeah.
The number that you roll will set the armor class for the baseball.
Okay. That makes sense.
And then Bailey, I'm going to have you roll an attack roll versus that armor.
And I give him advantage because I'm like cheering for him.
I will
That's
allow you
okay.
to give one of his rolls advantage.
Inspiration.
Sawyer gives disadvantage because she's booing.
Gosh, Sawyer.
So, how many
no one
spell
knows
slots do
who
I
you're
have?
booing. You're just booing baseball.
Yeah.
So everyone's like, well, this kind of ruins it.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
This is a source of pride. Okay.
Oh yeah.
For years, I've been plagued by this
Uh-huh.
man. So how far away specifically am I from the plate?
Baseball. Isn't it like 60 feet, 90 feet?
I don't know.
I think it's 60 feet.
Depends on what kind of
So,
baseball diamond.
Aaron.
Probably 60.
Yeah, how far away am I? Yeah, that is a good question.
Let me see. 60 feet 6 inches.
All of
60
us-
feet 6 inches. Okay, I step forward
Yeah.
6 inches.
It's 60 feet.
Okay, I step forward 6 inches, and I pull up, ball to my glove. And I kind of look over at him, and I'm gonna cast command.
I love it.
To me? To Bailey?
Yeah.
There's so much sabotage.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Bailey.
No.
I assume that over the time we've all just kind of learned what we're capable of doing.
Oh yeah. You've experimented for the past month. You guys
Yeah.
are pretty used to it by now.
What in the world
Bailey,
do I roll?
I would need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh my gosh.
I really want Bailey to succeed in this, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie.
That was wisdom?
8
Yeah, that's a...
plus 3. That's my charisma. Okay, you have to beat. You have to beat a 16.
Well, I rolled a 10.
My word is miss.
All right.
And then throw.
Your first pitch. What did you get on your athletics?
On my athletics check,
Yes.
I got a 16.
Excellent.
wait,
You
with advantage.
line up. Oh yeah, advantage.
Yeah, 16. Yeah.
Jared, you show him the count. You're like, all right, what pitch do you want? Grant, you know exactly what you want. You're looking for 3 fastballs right down the middle. This is a contest of strength right now. And you look at him and you just go, miss. Just right down the middle. Bailey, you can't help. You hear him say miss.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And you just look. I'm not even going to have your roll because you just half-heartedly swing the bat.
I picture Bailey like closing his eyes real tight a few times, like opening them real fast, like kind of blinking real fast, real hard, and then kind of shaking his head, confused, and then trying to focus again.
Yeah, and the umpire behind Jared, which is currently Mr. Jones, the football coach, goes, strike! One! He gets back down low.
Easy there, Dad.
Jared, you toss the ball back.
So I lost Searing Smite, so that's a concentration, I'd imagine.
Nope, you still have it.
Okay,
Searing Smite
awesome.
lasts up to a minute. I look at Bailey again. And I line up the shot. And I say, miss. And
Wait!
I cast command again.
Hold on.
Uh-oh.
What?
I also have the spell command.
Oh, yeah?
So
Do it.
would it
Do
be
it.
possible, for the sake of story, if I attempted to cast command before you, Grant? But since you said it first,
We could roll a dexterity check.
to see
Can
who
you
gets it
roll
faster.
Correction, can you roll a contested charisma check? Was it speech?
I like
Ooh.
it. I like
With
this.
the
We cast
paladins.
it. We cast
At
it
the
at the
same-
same time, and it's whoever stares down the other.
It's just whose will is stronger at this point.
Yeah.
Ooh, that sucks for you, bud. What am I rolling? Just a charisma
Dang.
check?
Just
I
charisma.
rolled a 17.
I got a 17 on die, which would bring me up to a 21.
So
Dang
Grant,
it!
your spell goes off first. Bailey, I'm gonna need a charisma save from you.
Wisdom.
Okay.
Or wisdom save.
Need
My bad.
a
Wrong
wisdom
spell.
saving throw.
That's wisdom save. Okay, that's a 14.
No.
That is not enough.
Dang.
Man,
I
on the
shoot off
side.
another one.
On the side, Grant, all of you know this because you know the Pattersons a lot better now. Bailey's grandpa doesn't really leave the house. This is one of the only times a year that he does.
So he's straight up like, "Hey, don't do this in front of people," and we're just
Yeah,
sitting here
and
casting
he is
spells
sitting
at each
front
other
row,
while he's watching.
right behind the umpire,
Yes.
and he sees you go miss the second time. The first time he thought it was just banter, but you see his like piercing, almost silver eyes from behind the umpire, and he just looks at you, says something. Bailey, you
Oh,
are
no.
not affected by the spell.
Oh no!
Counter spell?
It's a dispel magic.
Okay. Oh, okay.
So we still have to roll then.
Yeah. What is your athletics check?
Ooh, that's really good. Athletics, strength, 27.
Bailey,
Oh
can you hit
my
a 27?
Gosh.
How did you get
Why?
How did you get a 20?
19 on die. I have a +5 to strength, and then I'm proficient in athletics, so I get my
This
+3.
which check is this?
You're rolling an
This will
attack
be in attack roll
An
for
attack
you.
roll. Oh, okay. This might happen. We'll see. And I'm using my bat. Okay.
roll. Why am I so nervous?
It's
Baseball is an
Can he?
intense
Can I
game.
This is
give?
a
Can he
matter
get
of
the
pride.
advantage on this
You
one?
can
from
give him
me going
advantage
like,
on this one.
Oh, wait, 'cause
Okay.
then I
You
have to
see
get my-
Bev in the background, just past Grant, leading off second base. She just gives you a thumbs up real quick, and you're like, I gotta do it.
Well, I rolled a 23, which is pretty darn close,
Oof.
but not gonna cut it.
Not quite. You swing. Turns out Grant's got not only a mean fastball, but it's a moving fastball. You see it come straight down the middle, right as it hits the plate, just goes, whew, just right under the bat. You hear the coach behind you go, strike two.
Oh my gosh, can I cast Hunter's Mark on the ball?
I will allow this.
Hunter-
So that would give me
Uh,
advantage,
great.
right?
No.
I don't.
Or how does that
believe
work?
so, but if you hit, it will add damage.
No, it just
Okay,
adds
that's
damage
good.
if you hit.
That's fine. I
Well,
also
see,
cast Hunter's
Grant,
Mark.
Grant, you can't have both Hunter's Mark and Searing Smite.
Oh, that is
Okay, I
true.
won't
It's
cast
concentration.
Hunter's Mark because Searing Smite is way cooler.
Bailey, you hear a voice from behind you. You hear your grandpa's voice, and he says, "Swing the damn bat."
I'm trying. I don't know what's
question,
happening.
Senor DM.
Yes?
How far is Bev off the plate?
Ooh, that's a good question. Bev, how far off the plate are you? How confident in your running skills are you?
I'm pretty confident in my running skills. I'm not too
Okay.
far off. I just want to make sure Bailey can see me.
Okay, you think that if you were really fast, you could get a pick off.
Okay.
But
I'll
know,
try it.
Bev, it would be real tough.
I'll
Right.
try it. I'll try it. There's nothing wrong with trying. So
Grant, for this, since Jared is helping you with the pitch to home, it'll just be a straight athletics check. Bev, I will have your choice. You can either roll a dexterity save or a contested athletics check, whatever one is better
Okay.
for you.
Let me see.
Okay. 22.
All right, let me see.
Let's see.
Who could
Grant,
roll better,
being the
Hannah
best
or
roller.
DJ?
23. 23 athletics.
Straight up,
Woo!
you
So
whip
sorry,
around
Brenda.
lightning fast, throw to second. The second baseman is ready for it. But Bev, you see him turn, and just right before the glove tags you, you get your hand back on second. You give him, you're like,
I give you like the coldest stare known to man. I'm so sad right now.
Can I,
You're
Now-
definitely having a conversation after this game.
at this point, Mr.
I'll hold my
DM,
glove up.
if I may, Mr. DM, at this point,
Yeah.
I will go from standing like towards the side of the field to over to the stands and like sit somewhat near Grandpa Patterson.
excellent.
Now, okay, for the sake of the story, because this would definitely happen. So when Grant, when you turned and threw to Bev, you turn back around and Bailey is making his way towards the pitcher's mound,
Quick question.
walking with his bat in hand, not like
Oh, wow.
threatening, but like not threatening,
Yeah.
but
Right in his
just
hand.
furious.
Yeah. So you come
Oh.
over to me.
I come over to you and I
What's
look
up,
at you
Bailey?
and I say, now are you using mind tricks and things during this game? Because if you're doing that, that's not okay. I mean, there are people watching, but
I don't.
this
I
is a
don't
fair
think-
game. Where's your
Bailey,
source of sportsmanship,
Bailey,
Grant? I thought you were all about it.
I'll
okay?
put my glove up over my mouth so they can't see what I'm saying. But I'll also just kind of like look at him and can I assess how much time he has left on his Searing Smite? Has it been more than a minute?
No, because
No?
I want this
Wow.
to happen.
Okay, then I'll
Aaron.
stall and I'll just hang out for just a second.
Oof, bold. Bailey, it's not hard to tell. You can tell he's
Is
stalling.
it clear that he's cast that? Like,
You can kind of tell his hands are red, maybe a little too red. There's some smoke.
And I'm
Really,
angry.
what's the problem? See, no, you and I, we've done this for years, man.
You
Just
hear Coach
don't
Jones
back
from behind you go, "What are you doing? Get back in the box!
Bailey
I will
Bailey,
have
Finish
you
the
disqualified."
Bailey looks
Alright,
at Grant
Bailey.
again and says, "Now don't use any trickery. You hear?" And he
Alright,
and he stomps back to the
No
bat.
trickery, and I'll slap his butt as he goes.
You're all
Bailey,
right,
Bailey
Bailey.
pauses and he clenches his fist and you see it smoking and he just sighs and goes back to the plate and stares Grant down for the final pitch.
No magic for this one. No nothing. These are just some straight rolls with the bench, boy.
Okay.
Alright, so I've rolled
Bring
an
it on.
athletics check.
Yes, indeed.
What's the
Uh-oh.
save?
Uh-oh.
No, what the heck?
So
What is it?
first one was a 3, and then the second one is a natural 20. I can pull the camera over if you want to look.
No, I
Although,
believe you.
But see, the thing is,
Oh.
Bailey
So
still
that
has
would-
a chance because
yeah.
yours is a check. His is
That would
an
be a-
attack roll.
That'd be a 28.
So
That's
Bailey
rough.
Patterson, you need a crit.
Yeah, okay, so Bailey rolls a
Bailey, you do have advantage from your grandfather.
I did roll twice.
Aaron,
And that was a 19.
Yeah, Jared?
Aaron, so you said I didn't have to cast haste to help
right?
Yeah.
So I didn't have to cast haste to help.
No.
Would haste for some reason, just out of benefit, help the Patterson boy at all in this situation?
I'm gonna say 100%.
Oh, come on!
Now,
Why is
okay,
everyone against me?
what
He
is
always
that?
beats
What does
me.
that mean? What is that? What does that mean?
Triple advantage. He can roll a third time.
So Bailey, what did you roll?
So I rolled a 13 on die,
With the
Totaling
higher-
up
with
to-
the
Yeah.
higher
totaling up to a 19.
13
Yeah.
on die. Okay, that's not how math works. This is an attack roll, right?
Yeah,
So what's your strength?
3,
Okay, and now you also had your proficiency because it's an attack roll.
which is 3.
which is
Which
3,
is-
so 19.
19.
13
Yeah,
plus 6 is
19.
19.
Oh shoot,
That's
I
what
thought
I
you said 16. My bad. I was doing bad math there.
No,
Um,
I know
So
D&D.
as soon as
Alright,
he
okay.
as soon as he readies up for bat, I just say something kind of under my breath towards Bailey, and I go,
So wait a second, Jared, you were casting haste on Patterson?
"Yeah, I'm casting haste
That
on
would mean
Patterson."
that he's not giving the help action to you, Grant.
Yes.
I'm gonna need
Oh.
one more roll.
Well,
Wow, that was
technically-
dirty.
Technically,
DJ's
his first roll was a 3.
3.
Technically,
I
his
know.
first roll is a
That's
3.
why I'm saying I don't want to just take this away. I'm gonna give you one last one.
I just
you,
say, let's,
sir.
Aaron really
Ryan,
wants
you are
to
forever
stop.
my enemy.
I say to
Can't believe you've
Patterson,
done this to me.
I say to Patterson, I go, "Now let's keep this interesting, all right?"
You are the worst. Okay,
Oh
which
my
die do I?
God.
Okay.
Commenting on any betrayals.
I'm so hurt right now. Like, oh, my heart hurts. Okay. So 14
Gosh.
plus 8 is 22.
Nope. No,
Me
I
too.
had a 19.
I'm going to roll. So, Grant, you know how your
I hate
grandpa
you.
said to not cast spells?
I hate you.
Grandpa.
Yes!
Wait, I didn't cast a spell. Wait.
Yeah, he didn't cast a spell.
You did before, though.
Oh yeah.
Oh no.
Bailey,
notice me casting
you
a spell?
totally missed this. Like you see it, everything is in your favor. You
Mhm.
swing and you're like, I thought he was only throwing fastballs. Why is this a curve? Like in your mind, it's
Mhm.
all breaking. You feel a push.
No.
You're not sure from where. And mind you, it was complete luck because I rolled a d4 because that's what guidance does. You exactly hit a
No.
22.
No.
Now, Bailey, can you please roll damage for me?
Oh my gosh. Oh no. Okay, what was that? That was a D8 two-handed. So give me a sec.
You
Just
know,
one moment.
I almost feel bad for Grant now.
No, this is so good.
I don't.
But see, here's the thing. Almost, because this is really just poetic justice.
How
So
is poetic justice? I did nothing wrong.
Because
Oh
you
my
cheated
Minus the
first.
cheating in the first 2 rounds.
that
You
is
cast
Here's the
Searing
thing.
Smite. We both
Bailey
cast magic.
Bailey was using magic to help himself. You were using magic to make him do worse. He wasn't trying to make you do worse. He was just trying to make himself do
still
I
better.
like how this is just terrible. But we're all like, yeah, no, screw you, Grant. You're rich, you don't get a complaint.
Thought for just a moment, for the first time in my life, I'd beat Mr. Bailey Patterson in a
You
baseball
totally
game.
should have too.
so
Everything
that
was in my favor.
so that
Top 10
is
animated
a that's a 13 damage, and also
on Watch Mojo.
now the baseball needs to make a Constitution saving throw.
So,
I
question.
think it
So,
fails.
what all
No,
are
it
you
succeeds.
doing to this baseball?
Yeah, so basically with Searing Smite, it deals a extra 1d6 fire damage and causes the target to ignite in flames. And then I guess it says at the start of each of its turns until the spell ends, the target makes a Constitution saving
Okay.
throw. So maybe that
So
determines
all
whether
you're-
or not it
all you're
stays on
doing
fire.
is standard damage and your Searing Smite damage, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
have you ever played Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games? You know how like Mario when they're playing tennis, when he uses his super, it just ignites the tennis ball. That's what Bailey is doing. He's just like supering the baseball.
So you swing. Your mind, you're totally missing. I have a page for damage counters as to how far the ball goes. Wow. Let me get to the right page.
Grant, we literally, that was probably like 5 minutes of D&D gameplay just figuring out how to make Bailey hit it. And I feel bad, but also it needed to happen.
No, it's so worth it. This is just poetry in motion.
Also, I feel like this was actual like therapy for DJ and Grant as human beings, really. They're getting out their frustrations towards each other.
Yeah, honestly.
See, this is just real life. This is me always being second to Grant.
Oh,
and then
come
I
on.
finally got it.
Please.
Now, Bailey, you hit the ball.
Can
but
I make a
it
point real
wasn't-
quick?
Yes.
Real quick. A creature within 5 feet of me uses. Never mind. I thought they also got doused in flames, but I'm wrong. So you can.
No, you
Yeah,
don't
I thought
let Jared
Jared
on fire.
So
just
Jared
starts
is
on
not
fire.
on fire. That's what I thought it said.
Now,
You're
Bailey,
good.
you hit the ball, but it isn't as far as you would like. It gets just a little over shortstop.
Ooh, so there's still a chance. We can strike him out.
Bev,
Come on.
it's up to you now.
All right. All
Now
right.
you
Come
can
on,
either
Bev.
now you know for a fact the next batter. The next
Here's
batter is
Grandpa
Devin.
Patterson. Devin!
Devin barely knows how to hold a bat, much less swing at a Johnson pitch.
Right.
If you want this game to go into overtime, it won't finish because you can see in the distance there is a massive thunderhead of clouds. All of you know a storm's coming.
Right.
Bev especially.
Mm-hmm.
Or
They need a run.
you can try to score this point. I need you to roll an athletics check. Yes?
No, that was me blowing on
I
my
thought
dice.
you were waving on your hand. I
Nope,
didn't see your dice.
nope,
Yeah, I
blowing
need
on
you
the
to
dice.
roll an athletics check
All
So
right.
she has to get from second base to home.
to home
Okay,
on
okay.
what should maybe be a single.
Yeah, maybe. Okay. Oh, natural 20. Come on.
Whoa,
Did you do
Bev.
it?
No,
what'd you
no,
do?
it was a 19. So,
Oh.
Go
so
off.
22.
Bev, you have never been scared of Grant Johnson. He threw that to bring you back to second. Your leadoff was even a little bit farther than before. You were almost already to third by the time that the ball left his hand.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you saw Bailey swing, and you knew Bailey wasn't going to hit this, but by some sheer chance of God, just the tip of his bat manages to clip it into left field.
And it starts on fire.
It is smoldering on the ground, which gives you just enough time to round third on the way to home.
Slide. I definitely
the outfielder bobbles it because it's literally on fire. Throws. Jared, you're there, you're waiting for it, and you see Bev steaming towards you. Even
don't
with
care.
the 22.
Oh,
I need you and Jared to roll contested athletics checks to
Oh,
see if
God.
you can knock the ball out of him with your
All right,
slide
all
into
right.
home.
Side
The
note.
catch lands right in the glove. He goes for the tag.
Side note, while they're rolling, I did actually realize, theoretically, Crowbar actually would be really good at baseball.
Oh, I was expecting.
I'm sure.
I was
Sawyer has
expecting
no
Bailey
idea
to
what's
divine
going
smite.
on.
All
I
right.
was expecting some big hits.
Oh yeah,
did-
geez,
what did you
Bailey could have
roll?
done that.
I don't know how to play a paladin.
One second.
But yeah, because theoretically, in a way, I could have used "quote unquote" deflect missiles.
What does divine smite do?
So you
Get
just
even
have to
more
get hit.
damage.
And so
my
really,
goodness.
I would almost like take it, but like hit it with the
Crowbar
bat.
Jones is a master of getting hit by the pitch.
Whoa, that would have added a lot of damage. I should have done that.
Yeah, it could have added like 2d8 damage to it.
For those of you who don't know, I actually do love baseball. It's like one of my favorite sports to watch. It's one of
Baseball
the
is
few that
great.
I will actually watch, and it's for this very reason. Because my heart is pounding right now.
You're such a dad. You're such a dad. and it's great.
Yeah,
You have the mustache.
Where's my?
You have the
Trying to go hard
baseball.
over here.
Where's my KC
Jared.
hat?
Jared, how are we doing?
Hold on. I'm not finding the thing I'm looking for. I'm sorry.
He's looking for a way to escape this issue.
I don't
Jared's
suppose there's a
role
way-
playing
I
as
don't-
DJ right
He's
I
now.
a
don't suppose
warlock.
I could cast a spell, right?
Man.
I don't even know what I'd cast. Let's see.
Hmm.
Can I cast? Do I have a chance to cast a spell? I can cast command again.
No.
All right.
Too fast. You're still recovering
Grant is
from that
going off the
smoker of a
rails.
pitch. This is your moment. You
What
can
got,
see
Jared?
your.
Come on.
The worst part is that you can see your dad sitting just
My
to
dad?
the left
Oh no.
of the of the pit
Hey Bev.
and just watching.
Hey Bev.
Hmm.
What's a 22 do for you?
22.
A 21.
You slide in with all the force that you can muster.
Oh, no.
Yes.
Jared, for the first time in your life, you're a football player. Bev scares you more than any time anyone else you ever been tackled by.
Oh yeah.
She slides in, you plant the tag. An explosion of dust happens. The slide, you can see Bev, your hand is just touching home plate. Or it would be if underneath it there wasn't Jared's glove with the baseball still inside.
Oh.
Yes.
Immediately, the crowd erupts and then is almost immediately silenced by a massive crack of thunder that comes from the thunderhead that you thought was a little farther away and is now almost exactly halfway over the baseball field.
So you just
Oh, wow.
thought you could insert a scene from Twilight and we wouldn't notice?
Yeah,
All
right.
I haven't seen that movie, so clearly Twilight must be very good because
the
I thought of
vampires
this myself.
play baseball during,
Baseball.
during a thunderstorm because they hit so hard. It's
Oh,
the
I
only
do
thing
remember
that can cover
that,
the
yeah.
sound.
Yeah, no. Oh, yeah.
Baseball. It's a new sport. Halloween. What do you know?
Baseball.
Hey guys.
Heyo.
Speaking of which, I'll tell you guys after. It's
But sure enough, the umpire at home plate looks, he sees the glove and he goes, "You're out!"
I go tackle Jared.
And
Oh.
then the announcers announce, obviously, bottom of the ninth. You guys are cheering, but you then realize that it's still a tie game.
Oh
Yes!
no.
Tied 2-2.
Wait, so that means
bottom
it's
of
the
the
top then,
ninth.
right? Or
Um,
no. Sorry, never mind.
But the announcers call. They say, "Hey everybody, sorry, we're gonna have to call it here because a storm is coming, and it's gonna be a bad one, according to the satellite and whatnot that no one actually believes because it's never right."
That's true.
But everyone kind of boos as it's happening, but they totally understand because they also know, and they all politely applaud. The teams line up and do their little like good game thing.
When Bailey
clap
passes
hands.
Grant, he's grinning a little bit and he says, "Nice pitching. Still hit it though." And then he keeps walking. Just to slide that in there.
And it is there as everyone slowly begins to leave the surrounding area. They drive back home. They take their leftovers, whatever remains of them. The bouncy castles begin to be deflated in the background. And you all are kind of sitting on the hoods or in the beds of your respective vehicles. Bev, your bike was leaned up against Bailey's truck, so you're sitting on the hood of his car because you don't have a car to sit on.
Right.
And as
Hey.
the storm rolls over the baseball field, you all begin to talk, and that is where I'm going to end episode 3.
That was
Oh.
very fun. That was so fun.
I've never
I'm so upset. I was so close.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
you think you're upset? I was cheated out of a
You
nat 20.
cheated. You
I did
cheated.
not cheat.
Yes,
I
you
used my
did.
Resources. He cast
You
Searing
cheated.
Smite.
Hey.
I
Cheated.
did not
Hey.
cheat.
Yes, you
I do
did.
agree with Bev. No magics.
All I'm saying.
No,
is that
Crowbar.
we did-
Crowbar
Magic
is
to help
disappointed in all you
yourself
guys.
is different from magic to sabotage the other person. That's
The
cheating.
real winner
Now-
here is Jared.
That's true.
Honestly.
Great. Although
Jared
that
wanted to
being
keep
said,
it interesting, and we kept
Bailey,
it interesting.
Bailey tried to help himself, and it barely even worked at that point.
That's
He
a
needed
good
Yeah, but
point.
sabotage
Wait.
plus you had advantage the whole time. So
Yeah.
like,
I know.
He also
I know
had
this
advantage the
won't-
whole time.
not the
I
whole
know this won't
time.
happen in game, but I just love the thought that at the beginning of next game, the opening batter will be Devin. If they start the inning, of course, which is just a wonderful thought.
I mean, the storm's
They
rolling
won't,
over, so
but
probably not.
if something real weird did happen, like somehow Bev managed to get onto third and Bailey made it to first, I was ready to put it up to Devin.
I was so
gonna
excited
say, if
to
it
like,
came
Watch,
to
he
that
was
watch my
so-
pitches.
If it
Imagine
came-
if he was so excited.
If
Like
it-
he
if
was
it
like
came to
excited.
that
He was like,
point.
this
I know
is
that you're my
chance.
mentor and my idol.
But now you're my
Today,
enemy.
I will do my best to defeat you.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I was gonna say at that point, Crowbar would sub himself in and just be like,
Oh.
it would just be
Start
like,
swinging.
it'd be like Devin, let me.
Yeah.
But
So,
yeah,
anyway,
that's that's where we're gonna end tonight's game. Thank you everyone for stopping by. I hope to see you next week as we investigate a little bit more into the town of Rock Creek.
Wraps up today's episode of
Yeah.
Tabletop Twilight.
Exactly. Also,
Top 12.
speaking of Halloween and stuff like that, Ryan is going to be DMing a one-shot for us on November 2nd. That's the first Monday after after Halloween, and that will be in place of the normal paper dungeon.
I have an official name for the
By the way,
one shot now.
Oh, what is it?
Since this is pre-recorded, will this be after the one shot?
Let's see.
Yes.
Possibly.
Oh.
So thank you everyone who
Thanks
stopped
everyone
by.
so much.
Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe.
exactly.
Thanks for stopping by, everyone.
No,
to-
actually, I think it'll be
The Wednesday before, maybe?
the Wednesday
No.
right.
This is
Because-
episode 3.
No.
No,
No,
yeah,
it
no,
is
it'll
Hall-
be after.
That's episode
Halloween is
3.
this weekend.
That'll be
Yeah.
after, yeah.
Oops. So thanks everybody for stopping by and watching. If you haven't, go watch the VOD. It should be up on YouTube anytime soon. Yeah, that should be super great.
Yippee,
Anyway,
it's
Ryan
glad
just
to
came up
play
with the
it,
name
and I
after
absolutely
it.
love
After it,
Yeah.
after
Yeah.
it's been a running thing the entire time. It's so long. I'm so bad with names.
Big.
Ryan,
Oh.
can we know the name? I know it's already out, but
I'll
want
tell
know.
you to the break. Everyone else can go watch
Yeah,
the VOD.
yeah, see you next week
Alright.
or whenever next we stream, everybody. Thanks for stopping by. Everyone wave.
Guys.